let me introduce our reporter panel. Please move the copy up so I can get the names, please. Thank you so much. White House correspondent for NPR, Deepa Shivaram, and Juliegrace Brufke, who covers Congress for 24 Site News. All right, Vanity Fair and the heavily present inner circle of President Trump posing for picture after picture. Susie Wiles, the White House chief, has 11 interviews. Deepa, you're over in the building. What's the blast radius of this Vanity Fair piece?
Yeah, the thing that stood out to me is, like, the president's schedule is so tight. There is not a lot of time. If you work for the president, arguably you almost have less time as the White House chief of staff. Clearly here a priority was given to sit down and give 11 interviews, take over a whole photo shoot situation. This is a lot of time that was invested in a story that they say now lacks a lot of context. And Juliegrace, these photos are very, very artistic, stylistic. You don't shoot those photos with an iPhone glancingly. These are setup things. Again, allocation of time and intentionality.
I mean, I don't think I've seen a member of the administration be this candid since maybe the Mooch with that Ryan Lizza article back in the day, but this was obviously more intentional.
That would turn out to be a career ender. These will not.
Yeah, I mean, the administration's definitely rallying behind Susie Wiles, but it's, yeah, I mean, definitely some shocking, you wouldn't expect it to be on the record comments.
Candid, but I didn't feel, and Deepa, I'd like your impression of this, that she was throwing anyone under the bus. Maybe the Attorney General about mishandling the Epstein matter, but that's sort of accepted wisdom within the West Wing anyway. I was going to say, I don't think this is normal for any president chief of staff to do, but it may be kind of normal for Trump's chief of staff to do. This came across for her as someone who's obviously very in the know and willing to confidently say what she thinks out loud, which I think is really in line with the way the president himself functions. Outside of some of the, tidbits of, gossip about Elon Musk and things like that, she had some air of authority about what she was talking about, and I think that's what the White House can lean on. And Juliegrace, it also seemed, if you're going to think about this, why would they do this? Is there a strategy behind it? Maybe it's to say there are disagreements here. They can happen. You can have a disagreement with the president, still keep your job, so that it's a functionality sort of story, even though Susie Wiles, tried to push back on the selective quotation therein. I mean, I think that very well could have been the strategy. And I mean, it's kind of interesting, some of the more inflammatory things that people pointed to online, her saying that Trump has the personality of an alcoholic. He came out and talked to the New York Post and was like, I don't disagree with her. He said that about himself many times. It's a good thing I don't drink like my brother did. He learned lessons from his brother, who did have an alcohol abuse problem. Said if I did, I would probably be having kind of a manic personality. Trump's acknowledged that. I didn't even think that was a headline grabber. Deepa. No, I mean, it was, again, that kind of honesty that I think works with his base, right? They see things like this and they say, well, that's a president who's telling the truth. And even J.D. Vance embraced that she said he's a conspiracy theorist. He did today. He was in Pennsylvania. He's like, yeah, the ones that are true. Ha, ha, ha. I mean, it was kind of interesting. I think that the one thing that Susie Wiles pushed back on were the Elon Musk comments, which then later the audio was sent, I believe, to the New York Times. But I mean, I feel like that was also kind of a thing that's kind of been common knowledge about Elon Musk out there. Yes, that he takes ketamine a lot, and that that's one thing I didn't know, that he slept in a sleeping bag in the executive office building during the day. That part I was not aware of either. Work hard, play hard, question mark? Sometimes I could use a work nap, too. I kind of get it. Very quickly, Juliegrace, we have a decision not to act, even bring anything to the floor on health care. Moderates are not happy. So Nick Lotto was just in the Rules Committee about an hour ago trying to push for the Fitzpatrick language. Some alternative, something to get on the floor. Yeah, and I was just talking to Speaker Because the moderates are desperate to vote for something so they can tell their constituents, at least I tried. Absolutely, and there's talk of these discharge petitions of trying to kind of side-skirt leadership on that. And leadership's very dug in on, we want this to go to essentially HSA accounts instead of health insurers to bring down premiums. But I know moderates are very worried about it, and they're very worried about how it'll impact their races. And Deepa, the White House is going to have to do something about this once the premiums go up. In 2026, because it's not going away as a political issue. No, especially ahead of the midterm elections. This is obviously something Republicans across the country are going to have to kind of grapple with and deal with, and they're going to be looking to the White House to kind of signal on that messaging. I think you might start to see Trump go out on the road a little bit more. He's giving a speech, later this week and tomorrow night as well. And prime time address to sort of encapsulate the year that was from his perspective. I'm sure there'll be a lot of A plus references there. Deepa Shivaram, Juliegrace Brufke, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.